6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister addressing the joint session of the Parliament today announced that Pakistan will release the captured Indian pilot tomorrow as a peace gesture. Prime Minister Imran Khan has urged the international community to intervene and contain further escalation of tensions between Pakistan and India. The leader of the opposition, Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif, addressing the joint session of the Parliament, has said that peace in South Asia is not possible without resolving the long-standing Kashmir dispute. The Pakistan Army spokesperson says troops are at high alert along the line of control with all the required safeguards along the eastern border in place to thwart any Indian aggression. The foreign minister has welcomed American president's statement regarding his country's intervention to de-escalate tension between Pakistan and India. American Special Representative for Reconciliation in Afghanistan says he had constructive discussions with the Taliban delegation in Doha in a bid to end the Afghan conflict. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced to release the captured Indian pilot tomorrow as a peace gesture. Addressing the joint session of the Parliament in Islamabad today, the Prime Minister said this is a first step towards de-escalating. The Prime Minister urged the international community to play its due role to contain further escalation between Pakistan and India. He, however, warned that any escalation on part of India will force Pakistan to retaliate in self-defense. Prime Minister Imran Khan said Pakistan is a peace-loving country and desires peace and stability in the region. He said Pakistan is making efforts to de-escalate the current tension. The Prime Minister said he tried to contact the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi last evening because escalation is not in our interest, nor is it in India's. He said he will also talk to the Turkish president later today to ask him to play his role in reducing tension. He said the foreign minister also contacted other world leaders on the current situation. The Prime Minister, however, made it clear that our desire for de-escalation should not be misconstrued as our weakness. He pointed out that our armed forces are battle-hardened and they are fully prepared to respond to any aggression. The leader of the opposition in the National Assembly, Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif, has said peace in South Asia is not possible without resolving the long-standing Kashmir dispute. Addressing the joint session of the Parliament, he offered full cooperation to the government to send a strong message that the entire Pakistani nation is united when there is a matter of Pakistan's security and Kashmir issue. He said Pakistan will not tolerate any nonsense from the eastern border and Pakistani forces are ready to deliver a bloody nose in case of any aggression. He, however, agreed with the notion of the Prime Minister that we should pursue the course of peace as the region cannot afford any conflict. Due to the prevailing environment, Pakistan Army troops are at high alert along the line of control with all the required safeguards in place to thwart any Indian aggression. According to ISPR, the Pakistan Air Force and the Pakistan Navy continue to stay fully alert. During the last 48 hours, the Indian troops resorted to increased ceasefire violations in Kotli, Kuiratta and Tattapani sectors along the line of control. The Pakistan Army troops responded effectively to the enemy's fire, and there are reports of casualties to Indian forces and damage to their posts. The Indian deliberate firing on civilians resulted into the martyrdom of 4 citizens, whereas 2 others were injured. ISPR has asked the public to stay mindful about rumor mills and stay responsible in use of the social media. The American President Donald Trump has expressed the hope of de-escalation of tension between Pakistan and India. Speaking at a press conference in Hanoi, Vietnam today, he expressed the hope that there would be some reasonably decent news about ending the ongoing conflict between the two countries. President Donald Trump said the United States has been mediating between the two sides and trying to have them stop and de-escalate. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has welcomed the statement of President Donald Trump regarding American intervention to de-escalate tension between Pakistan and India. Briefing the media men following the cabinet meeting in Islamabad today, he said Pakistan has decades-old relations with the United States and its interference will be helpful in the establishment of peace in the region. The foreign minister said President Trump has decided to intervene in view of the prevailing tense situation in the region. The Foreign Office spokesperson, Dr. Mohammad Faisal, has reiterated that Pakistan is ready for dialogue with India on all issues, including terrorism. Talking to newsmen in Islamabad today, he said Kashmir is the core issue and will always remain integral to any such dialogue. About the escalation of tensions between Pakistan and India, he said we have activated the United Nations Military Observers Group for India and Pakistan, and the group will be taken for a visit to the site where the Indian Air Force jets were shot down. The spokesperson confirmed that a dossier was received from India today and action will be taken on any actionable intelligence if found regarding the Pulwama incident, as has been assured by Pakistan. This is Radio Pakistan. The Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Chaudhry Fawad Hussain, says the world must realize that Pakistan-India conflict will not only destabilize the region, but also the entire world. In a tweet today, he said in case of any conflict, the world will be more divided and extremism will jump to new peaks, while both Pakistan and India will lose. The information minister said, let's work together to avert this situation. The American Special Representative for Reconciliation in Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad, says the meetings in the last 3 days with the representatives of the Taliban in Doha were productive. In a tweet today, Zalmay Khalilzad said the two countries, we continue to take slow, steady steps towards understanding and peace. Zalmay Khalilzad said all 4 key issues were discussed, including the American forces' withdrawal from Afghanistan, ensuring that Afghanistan's territory is not used as a threat to any other country, a comprehensive ceasefire and direct talks with the Afghan government. The United States and North Korea have failed to reach denuclearization deal at the Hanoi summit in Vietnam. On the second day, the summit between American President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was cut short without elaborating the reasons. According to the White House statement, the two leaders discussed various ways to advance denuclearization and economic-driven concepts. However, no agreement was reached at this time. The United Nations has said the Israeli forces committed crimes against humanity in killing 189 Palestinians and wounding more than 6,100 at the weekly protests in Gaza last year. An independent panel of United Nations investigators in its report said the Israeli security forces killed and maimed Palestinian demonstrators who did not pose any imminent threat of death or serious injury to others when they were shot, nor were they directly participating in hostilities. It said violations by Israel must be immediately investigated. The United Kingdom says talks with the European Union to secure changes to a Brexit deal have moved forward, but there is still a significant amount of work to do. The spokesperson of the British Prime Minister, Theresa May, told reporters that voting in the Parliament on the deal could take place before or on the 12th of next month. And now cricket. In the Pakistan Super League against Peshawar Zalmay at Dubai, Multan Sultans were 172 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in 20 overs. Earlier, Peshawar Zalmay won the toss and elected to field. In another match of the league, Karachi Kings will face Lahore Qalandars at 2100 hours Pakistan Standard Time. And finally, the weather. Rain thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills accompanied by windstorm is expected at scattered places in Quetta, Yob, Kalat, Makran, Kohad, Bannu, Deir Ismail Khan divisions, while at isolated places in Malakand, Hazara, Peshawar, Mardan, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala, Sargoda, Dera Ghazi Khan, Multan, Sakkar, Ladkhana divisions, Islamabad, Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan during the next 12 hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official